former President of the SCBA, Mr. Zainul Abidin, learned members of the SCBA, distinguished guests, and most importantly, the newly inducted members of this august body. A very good morning to you all. It is with a profound sense of honor and responsibility that I address you today to welcome you into a vocation that is as distinguished as it is demanding. This occasion reminds us not only of the significance of the legal profession, but also the sacrifices that underpin the ideals of justice we uphold. As we gather in this hallowed institution, let us first pause to honor the memory of those who gave their lives for statehood, justice, freedom, and dignity, starting with the martyrs of the 1971 Liberation War. Their sacrifices carved the path to the sovereign state we serve today. Equally, I recall with reverence the martyrs of the July-August 2024 student-led revolution, a movement led by the youth of this nation who reignited the spirit of accountability and equity. Their courage and ultimate sacrifice impose upon us a solemn burden to ensure that the doors of justice remain open for all, regardless of status, power, or privilege. As you join this noble profession, remember that ours is not merely a career, but a calling, a commitment to stand as the vanguard of justice, fairness, and the rule of law. Together we bear the torch of truth and equity, illuminating the path for generations to come. When I had the distinct honor of taking oath as the 25th Chief Justice of Bangladesh, I was acutely aware of the immense responsibility placed upon my shoulders. This role is not merely a position of leadership, but a solemn trust bestowed by the people. From the very moment of my appointment, I recognized the urgency of addressing the challenges that have long impeded the full realization of our judiciary's potential. To this end, on September 21st, I unveiled a comprehensive roadmap for judicial reform. This initiative is a cornerstone of my vision to strengthen our judiciary and its capacity to serve the people with integrity, efficiency, transparency, and accountability. As part of my steadfast commitment to institutional reform and strengthening the independence of the judiciary, I have taken decisive steps to establish the foundation for true separation of powers. I have declared and initiated the process of creating a separate secretariat for the judiciary, a pivotal measure to ensure the judiciary's administrative autonomy. Alongside this, I have proposed the formation of a Judicial Appointments Council to institutionalize transparency and meritocracy in the appointment process of apex court judges, as well as posting and transfer guidelines for district judiciaries aimed at fostering consistency and fairness in judicial postings. These proposals have been formally submitted to the government for necessary action, marking a significant step toward the complete institutional separation of the judiciary from the executive branch. Moreover, in reinforcing the judiciary's independence from the legislative branch, we have restored and strengthened the Supreme Judicial Council following the disposal of the 16th Amendment review case. This pivotal move effectively eliminates the provision for Parliament to impeach Supreme Court judges. Another important initiative I would like to share is recognizing the critical importance of access to justice. In that regard, I introduced a capacity test alongside the existing means test for invoking legal aid services. This reform was driven by the alarming reality that a significant number of individuals were being denied defense counsel in court, undermining their fundamental right to a fair trial. This initiative marks a significant step forward in our reform efforts as it expands the reach of legal aid services and reinforces our commitment to ensuring that no one is denied justice due to financial or practical constraints. Distinguished members of the bar, the landmark Masdar Hussain case, often referred to as the cornerstone for the separation of the judiciary from the executive in Bangladesh, stands as a testament to the relentless pursuit of judicial independence. It is a case of profound jurisprudential significance that laid the foundation for the autonomy of the judiciary, a principle that remains vital to the establishment of the rule of law in this jurisdiction. In this context, I am deeply honored to recall the pivotal role played by my father, Barrister Syed Ishtiaq Ahmed, in this historic case. My father dedicated his life to the advancement of justice and the independence of the judiciary. He not only appeared in the Masdar Hussain case as a staunch advocate for judicial separation, but also laid the intellectual groundwork for its successful resolution. Barrister Ishtiaq Ahmed served as the Attorney General for Bangladesh, and his career was notably marked by his election as the President of the scba on 2 occasions, and his service to the nation as an advisor to the caretaker government twice during critical junctures in our country's history. His most enduring legacy, however, lies in his role as the architect of the blueprint for the separation of the judiciary from the executive, a visionary framework that he crafted in 2001. This blueprint became a guiding document for implementing the principles articulated in the Masdar Hussain judgment and remains a cornerstone of our judicial reforms. As I carry forward this legacy, I am reminded of Barrister Ahmed's staunch commitment to justice, his intellectual rigor, and his profound sense of duty. It is a source of personal inspiration and professional resolve as I work to build upon his vision of a judiciary that is independent, impartial, and accessible to all. Dear attendees, the judiciary stands as a cornerstone of our democracy, and its strength lies in the harmonious interplay between 2 integral pillars, the bench and the bar. The bar is not merely a participant in the judicial process, but an equal stakeholder in upholding the sanctity and efficacy of justice. As members of the SCBA, your role extends far beyond advocacy. You are custodians of the legal profession and vital collaborators in the administration of justice. The nation and I personally place great expectations upon you to act with care, professionalism, and a deep sense of responsibility in aiding the judiciary to meet its constitutional mandate. I therefore call upon every member of the bar to align their efforts with the highest standards of integrity and commitment. Your advocacy shapes judicial decisions. Your conduct reinforces public trust. And your insights enrich the legal discourse that drives reform. In this regard, I urge you to embrace your varied duties responsibly. Together, the bench and the bar must rise to the occasion to address both challenges and the threats to our institutional integrity. The judiciary's structural strength and credibility depends significantly on your dedication to uphold the same, and in that regard, we must, the bar and the bench, move forward as a united force. Ladies and gentlemen, mentorship is the bedrock of professional growth, particularly in the legal profession, where the transmission of knowledge, values, and skills from one generation to another shapes the future of justice. As I reflect on my own journey, I'm deeply grateful for the guidance of several extraordinary mentors who played pivotal roles in shaping my own career and intellectual outlook. Each of them imparted invaluable lessons that continue to influence my approach to law and justice. I take the liberty, therefore, to name names, drop names. And the first individual who comes to mind is my tutor, Jeffrey Hackney. Emeritus Fellow and the Keeper of Archives at Wadham College, University of Oxford. Hackney taught me property law, trusts, and legal history at Oxford, and this year marks the 41st year of my unbroken bond with him. With his unparalleled understanding of jurisprudence, Jeffrey Hackney has been the keeper of my jurisprudential conscience, ensuring that my legal reasoning remains firmly rooted in sound principles and are a product of intellectual rigor. Jeffrey remains my professional confidant, and no visit of mine to Oxford is ever complete without having lunch with him at college. The second person I would like to mention is who was a member of this bar decades ago, but appears to have been long forgotten because of the vicissitudes of history. and that individual is Barrister Abdul Hussain Muhammad Haider, who, with his meticulous attention to detail, taught me the craft of legal drafting, a skill essential for clarity and precision in the legal profession. A hard taskmaster and a stickler for perfection, Barrister Haider was my superior in my first job as a lawyer in London's financial district, the City. Barrister Haider, along with Dr. Kamal Hussain, was the founding partner of the law firm, Dhaka law firm, Haider and Hussain in the 1960s, and later went on to establish law firms, found law firms in Karachi and Dubai. Third individual who comes to mind is Professor Shugata Bose, presently the Gardner Professor of History at Harvard. Bose was my tutor and PhD supervisor at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy in Boston. To Shugata Bose, I owe my profound appreciation of the role of political history in the formation and building of modern states. Next, Dr. Shamsul Bari, also a barrister, who spent a lifetime at the UN High Commissioner for Refugees in Geneva. And it is Dr. Bari who gave me my first big break at the United Nations that took me to places as diverse as Hong Kong and Washington, D.C. in my capacity as a legal consultant. This was the closest that I came to serving as an international civil servant and marks an outstanding phase in my professional life. My father, Barrister Syed Ishtiaq Ahmed, comes up next in my professional timeline. He not only instilled in me an unwavering commitment to the rule of law and constitutionalism, but also exemplified for me the values of integrity and public service. Last but not the least, the jurist par excellence, Mr. Mahmoud al-Islam, who inspired me to appreciate the enduring impact of legal scholarship, encouraging me to value the creation and publication of legal treatises, which serve as a cornerstone for developing jurisprudence and guiding future generation of lawyers. Indeed, Barrister Syed Ishtiaq Ahmed and Mr. Mahmoud al-Islam were lifelong professional associates. I suppose the takeaway of the narrative above, of the influences on my life for you, is that don't be afraid to make unconventional career moves and choices, because I did. Your collective experience, I assure you, shall one day revert, paying you handsome dividends of the investment you've made with time and energy. The profound relationship between mentor and mentee and the tradition of pupillage is indispensable for the development of new lawyers. Mentorship provides young professionals with the tools to navigate the complexities of the law, instills a deep sense of ethical responsibility, and fosters intellectual curiosity. It is through this bond that mentees learn not only the mechanics of the legal craft, but also the philosophy and values that underpin a just legal system. I urge every new lawyer to seek out mentors who will challenge, inspire, and guide them. And I encourage seasoned professionals in turn to embrace the role of mentors. This reciprocal relationship is not just about professional development. It is about building a community of lawyers. My dear new inductees, ethics and morality are the cornerstones of the legal profession, defining the character and credibility of every lawyer. For the newly inducted members of the bar, this is not just a ceremonial initiation. It is an entry into a profession steeped in norms, conventions, and customs that demand the highest standards of propriety, integrity, professionalism, and moral responsibility. You must never forget that as advocates and officers of the court, your actions and decisions will not only shape the outcomes of cases, but also influence public trust in the legal system itself. New members of the bar must approach their responsibilities with an unwavering dedication to honesty, confidentiality, and respect for the rule of law. Advocacy should never become a tool for manipulation or deception. Rather, it should reflect a balanced pursuit of justice where fairness to all parties is paramount. Equally important is the moral compass that guides your interaction with clients, colleagues, and the court. Your duty extends beyond legal expertise. It encompasses empathy, respect for human dignity, and a sense of accountability to society. Avoid the temptations of expediency or personal gain that compromise ethical standards. For your reputation and the honor of the profession rests on your own moral integrity. As new members of the bar, you must also embrace the responsibility of being lifelong learners, continuously refining your knowledge and understanding of the law. Remember, professional growth is intertwined with moral growth. Each decision you make as a lawyer reflects not just on you, but on the profession as a whole. In conclusion, I draw upon the words of Lord Bingham, who so eloquently articulated the essence of the rule of law. And he said, the rule of law requires that the law must afford adequate protection of fundamental human rights. These words remind us that our ultimate duty as legal professionals are to safeguard the rights and freedoms that define the dignity of every individual. Equally, I turn to the wisdom of Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, who said, the life of the law has not been logic, it has been experience. This serves as a reminder that the law must evolve and adapt to the lived realities of the people it serves, your constituency, guided by fairness, empathy, and practicality. To the newly inducted members of the bar, I urge you to approach this noble profession with the gravity it deserves. The Supreme Court is not merely a seat of justice, but a custodian of Constitution, the protector of rights, and the conscience of the nation. Recent incidents, however, have reminded us that the conduct within our premises has at times fallen short of the ideals we revere and aspirations we hold dear. This is not the Supreme Court bar we envision, and it falls upon each of you to restore and uplift its dignity, ensuring that it remains a beacon of integrity, professionalism, and justice. As we step forward in our shared mission to uphold justice, let us embody these principles in our words, actions, and decisions. The path of law is not without its challenges. But with courage, integrity, and commitment to the ideals of justice, we can fulfill our duty to the nation, to this great nation of ours, ensuring that the rule of law remains the guiding light of our society. Let us together, the bench and the bar, stand as firm guardians of justice and equity for ourselves and for generations to come. Thank you so much.
ধন্যবাদ মাননীয় প্রধান বিচারপতি মহোদয়কে আপনার ভ্যালুয়েবল এবং রিসার্চফুল স্পিচের জন্য থ্যাঙ্কস ফর ইউর গাইডেন্স। আমরা আশা করছি আপনার এই বক্তব্য নতুনদের জন্য পথ চলার ক্ষেত্রে অনেক সহায়ক হবে। মাননীয় প্রধান বিচারপতি মহোদয়, আপনি প্রধান বিচারপতি হওয়ার পর এই প্রথম বারের একটি অনুষ্ঠানে আপনাকে পেলাম। এই জন্য সুপ্রিম কোর্ট বার অ্যাসোসিয়েশনের পক্ষ থেকে এবং বারের প্রতিটি সদস্যের পক্ষ থেকে আপনাকে অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ। আমরা এই আশা করছি সামনে আরো অনুষ্ঠানে আমরা আপনাকে পাবো এবং সেই সাথে আমরা আশা করছি আইনজীবীদের জন্য এবং বারের প্রয়োজনে আমরা আপনাকে সবসময় কাছে পাবো। অনুষ্ঠানের এখন এই মুহূর্তে